Coming up on Takedown with Chris Hansen, in Polk County, Florida, this man is in total denial.
You're in a bit of a jam right now. What do you think should happen to you?
I don't think anything should happen to me.
But I'm about to give him a big slap of reality.
I didn't think this was real at all when I saw the camera.
Well, it's very real.
Okay, well, I don't like this whole game show thing.
So, Michael, there's something you need to know. I hope you're enjoying this free full episode of Takedown on our YouTube channel, but there's something you need to know. There are literally hundreds of new episodes either in production or on our streaming channel right now, uncensored. Watch TrueBlue.com. Use the code YouTube25 to watch all of the episodes for $2.50, or for an annual subscription, use YouTube Year for $20 off. Also, and this is very important, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you on True Blue.
I'm in Polk County, Florida, with Sheriff Grady Judd's Cyber Guardian Task Force. Lieutenant Bobby Kirkpatrick launches the 7-day sting operation with an intensive team briefing.
Before the guy physically comes to the door, if we got him coming off of 27, off of Champions Gate, he has met the statutory element.
Once the guy shows up and is under control, I'll do an interview and get inside the minds of these guys and teach people how predators' brains work and keep people from being victims of predators. But we appreciate this opportunity, and we appreciate all your fine work on these ops and everything else you do.
Then it's to the Sting House. At the Sting House, the rooms are filled with electric energy. One detective who's posing as a 14-year-old boy fills me in on the chat he's been having with a man whose profile quote says it all: "Be chill, looking for younger guys."
What do we know about this fellow?
He said his name is Chris. He sent 2 selfies. I'm not aware of him being fully identified yet.
So this conversation actually started last night.
That started yesterday.
And this is a guy trying to meet a 14-year-old boy.
Yes. He was working, stopped communicating at around 9 o'clock, and then reached back out yesterday around midnight. Wanted to come over, wouldn't really discuss what he wanted to do. Hit me up this morning around 4:30 saying he was upset that that we couldn't meet.
So he reached out to the boy at 4:30 this morning saying he regretted not meeting.
Yeah. And then he finished working today, reached back out via text saying, sorry, I'm not very good at responding on text. I don't get the messages. So he asked for my Snapchat, gave him my Snapchat, reconfirmed my age. He reconfirmed that I was a real person by having me. He chose 2 hand signs of emojis and wanted me to take a picture that way. Got my UC to do that, sent them to him, and then we went into the conversation. He wanted to meet and cuddle and make out, and then he was like, oh, I want to make your first time very enjoyable and
Want to make his first time having sex very enjoyable.
Yes, because then he mentioned, I told him that I was a virgin. He's like, yeah, I'm going to take your virginity and I'm going to make it as pleasurable as possible. And I'll read it to you. I want you to feel amazing. I'm going to be super gentle and caring about how it feels for you.
And then he says,
I'm going to use a condom, and we're also going to not use a condom.
So he said he's going to use a condom and not use it.
Yeah, he wants to try both.
And he knows this is a 14-year-old boy.
Yes. He said before that, I definitely make you want to meet again and do it again.
And as far as we know, he's got the address.
Yes. He's checking to see how much an Uber is going to be.
So he's going to take an Uber.
Yes.
And do you know how far away he is?
He said roughly 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
But that was before he got the address, so.
Got it. Sounds like he's coming.
Yeah.
With the man we know as Chris heading to our Sting House, everyone gets into position. We monitor the surveillance cameras hidden outside the house.
So, the alleged predator we think is coming, the 24-year-old man who's coming for a boy, told the decoy that guy's just getting an Uber, but we see somebody. Surveillance has picked up somebody in the neighborhood who looks like him, so he might have been lying to the decoy. And he might be right down the street.
Walking out the neighborhood.
You guys eyes on him so we can know if we can shoot a phone call?
He's in the Uber. He just got in the back seat.
Call.
Now start going towards the entrance. Get past the street of the traveler's house. Go back up to it. He's still, looks like he's still texting on his phone.
The detective tries to call the man, but he doesn't pick up. Since the crimes are already committed in the chat and by traveling, the plan for taking him down is changed.
Yep, wait.
Is this Snapchat ringing?
The sheriff's team stopped the Uber in which this alleged predator was using to get here. He is now under arrest and in just a matter of minutes will be brought into the state house for an interrogation.
They're fooling around.
Don't worry about it. It's not cool. Don't worry about it. It's not cool. You guys know I wasn't trying to make extra coming here.
Stop moving.
Stop filming me?
Stop moving.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna tell you again.
Chris is brought into the house and searched. Polk County detectives find condoms and lubricant, a clear indication of his intent for a night with a 14-year-old boy.
It's like a movie or something? It's like a movie?
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
He's then interviewed by detectives as I listen in and take notes.
You're not gonna do anything stupid, right?
Of course not.
Okay, all right.
Thought I was making the right choice tonight.
Turns out his name is not Chris. Now he tells the detectives it's Sam, but that too is a lie. His real name is Michael, and he's not 24, he's 34. Once the Polk County detective is done with her interview, it's my turn to get inside the mind of the man with the many aliases coming to meet an underage boy.
Michael, what happened tonight?
Came over here and I took an Uber, but then I realized that was a bad idea, and I got into an Uber to leave.
And had you not been arrested, where would you have gone tonight, Michael?
Back home to go back to bed.
To go back to bed?
Yep.
So help me to understand how all this started. It started yesterday?
I don't really want to talk to you guys.
All right, well, I need to understand. And
Are you part of a TV show or something? I don't want to talk to you.
I'll explain that.
I don't want to talk. I don't consent to being on a film.
Well, you don't have a choice because you are in a situation where you don't have a reasonable expectation for privacy. So,
Well, I mean, I made a smart decision. I decided not to. I blocked
that's
them.
why I need to know about it, Michael. You need to help me out and tell me about your smart decision, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so let's start with that. Let's start out. How did this begin, so I can understand your smart decision?
I don't want to be on a TV show, you guys.
Okay, well, I have to record this.
I mean, what is this, like a TikTok channel or something?
No, it's not a TikTok channel.
What is this? I don't want to talk to you guys. I don't want to be. I'm not a bad person.
Okay, but you need to help me to understand because right now all I have is the fact that you got
This is a
arrested.
party. Look at all these you guys had all this crap out. and
Don't
everything.
worry about that. Tell me what happened and how you made the right decision.
Because I got over here and then I was already not wanting to come over here. They could pressure me to come over here.
Who pressured you to come over here?
Whatever the guy's name was. I don't even know the guy's name.
So the person you were talking to who told you they were 14, they pressured you to come over.
Yes.
And what was the reason for you to come over?
Because we were gonna have sex or something.
You were going to have sex or something.
Mm-hmm. But he had sent me pictures and he looked like he was like 20. He didn't look like he was 14.
Okay. And you were down to have sex with this person?
No,
who
I
told
wasn't
you they were 14?
necessarily. I wasn't necessarily down to have sex.
But you talked about having sex in your conversation.
Yes.
You talked about using a condom and then maybe not using a condom.
Yeah, because he caught me when I was horny and
He caught you when you were horny.
Yes. I really would not I don't want to talk to you guys.
You said that you wanted to make this special, that you were going to go easy and be gentle and caring when you had sex with him.
Yeah. Because it was his first time.
It was his first time. Did that excite you that you were going to have sex with this boy for the first time?
No.
It seemed like it did.
No, not really.
I'll definitely make you want to meet me again.
Well, yeah, why would I not? Why would I want to give somebody a bad time?
Because they're 14.
I'm just saying in general, if it's somebody's first time doing something, why would I want to make them have a bad time?
You said you were going to shave, so your face would be smooth when you kissed him. Did you shave before you came over?
Yes. But I didn't come over to this house.
Right.
I think you're missing a really important point.
Okay. Well, I want to get to that too, but first,
Like, this was like, I mean, like, I got here, and then on the way over here, I realized that I didn't really even want to be here.
okay, so how close did the Uber bring you to being here tonight?
Like, outside the neighborhood.
Outside the neighborhood. And then did you walk by this house?
Nope, I didn't walk by the house.
Where did you go once the
Just
Uber
walked
dropped you
around,
off?
I walked around on the sidewalk, around, and I didn't even turn down the street. I didn't want to.
And at what point during all this did you say to yourself, oh my God, I should not have sex with this boy, I gotta get out of here?
Halfway here, halfway in the Uber, I realized I wish I would just turn around. It was so late, and I didn't even want to, like, meet up with them.
So here's the question I have for you, Michael, and that is, you started this conversation yesterday, last night, and you stopped the conversation, and it was over at that point.
We didn't have a sexual conversation, really.
No, I understand that, but you had communication with this person who told you they were a 14-year-old boy, then it stopped, and then you reached out again, very late at night, and started the conversation again. Why did you reach out again to this boy?
He reached out to me. I didn't reach out to him.
That's not the way it went down. You reached
I'm
out
pretty sure
again.
he texted me back or something.
Well, no. You reached out again to find him and said you wish you had come over. You wanted to be with him. Words to that effect.
Oh, you're talking about like a couple nights ago?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't even know what day we were talking about. Yeah, no, I didn't want to come over that night either.
Okay, but again, more than 24 hours ago, you had a conversation with this same person, 14. It stopped. And then you got back on at like 4 o'clock in the morning yesterday and said you wish you could see him. You initiated the conversation again. And then there was all this talk about sex.
Yeah, but I wasn't trying to talk about sex.
Well, you did talk about sex when you got back on. In other words, the point I'm making is you could have left it alone 24 hours ago and you and I wouldn't be sitting in this kitchen.
I know, and I wish that we would have, and I didn't even come over to this house either.
I understand that, but you came.
You guys clearly don't understand that because.
Well, I don't think you understand the law.
We were going back home, and I wasn't trying to meet up with somebody.
Right.
It's as clear as that. And then he tried calling me, and I was like, "No, I'm done with this." And so I blocked him on Snapchat, and then I deleted his number and everything, and blocked him on my phone. And then you guys got upset about that probably, and then that's why you like pulled me out of the Uber. I was trying to leave this neighborhood and like go back home.
Now you go by Nick Minnesota, Nick MN on this platform. You say, now I'm actually getting horny though. The boy says you're getting hormones. You say, like, yeah, you're making my dick hard. Knowing you're real and actually hot AF is turning me on a lot. These are your words.
Yeah, after he showed me pictures of him looking like he was 20 years old.
Okay. But he said he was 14.
Yeah, people can make up things. It's called role playing.
Like I have a boner, you say. He says, sorry. It's a good thing. I like how you make me feel. I hope I make you feel something too. I want to make you feel really good. I want to make you feel amazing. The boy says, make me feel good? You say, yes. Would you like that? Maybe, but I don't know how you would do that. And then you say, well,
after he sent me pictures,
cuddling and making out for sure feels really good, I think. And then you go on to have the more sexual conversation.
So he doesn't look like he was 14 at this point.
Okay, but
I didn't have sexual conversation like that.
How old did he say he was?
He said he was 14, but I mean, I didn't believe him.
Did he ever say, this is role playing, this is fantasy, I'm really older, but you can pretend I'm 14? He never said that, did he?
No, but I mean, that's what I understood it as.
Okay. And
I didn't understand that until he sent me the pictures.
Did you stop and buy the condoms and lube on the way here, or
No.
did you have that?
I already had those.
Okay, but you brought them with you.
Yes, but I wasn't planning on.
Well, why do you bring condoms and lube if you're not going to use them?
Okay, well, why do you turn around and not go somewhere if you're not going to do something?
Well, but
that's like saying like, oh,
You
like,
could've turned
you were
around again.
thinking about robbing a bank. So you're thinking about robbing. You walked around the bank, but you didn't rob the bank. So then you go walk into the bank. You didn't walk into the bank. So then are you a bank robber?
But you conspired to rob a bank, and that could be a crime. Just like you conspired and solicited a child online.
I didn't solicit him at all. He solicited me.
You had the conversation.
He solicited me to come over.
That's
here.
not how it went down.
That's what it felt like.
You could have prevented this
That's what
whole
it felt
thing
like.
by not getting
Well,
back online and talking.
I wish.
Okay. Have you ever met anybody else online before with whom you've had sex?
No.
Never.
Like, what did it say again?
Did you ever meet anyone else online with whom you had sex?
No.
Never.
Or like anyone?
Anyone?
Well, yeah.
Okay. Anybody underage?
No.
Then why did you start this?
I wasn't trying to start anything this week.
But, Michael, it looks like you're being sneaky here.
I'm not trying to be sneaky.
You said your name was Sam Case. What's that about?
Because I didn't even know that, like, what this whole thing was. I didn't know anything. I didn't even think these were real police at first.
What did you think it was?
I thought it was like a reality TV show or something.
Reality TV
or some TikTok channel or something stupid.
TikTok channel.
Some like internet famous person. I didn't think this was real at all when I saw the camera.
Well, it's very real.
Well, clearly I'm realizing that now, but didn't think that it was real.
And so you live in Minnesota, and you're here on business.
Yeah, and you guys are here to ruin my life. I don't understand.
Well, you didn't have to come here, Michael.
I didn't come here. I didn't walk up to the front door. You guys didn't tackle
You
me.
engaged in a sexually charged conversation with someone who told you he was...
Only after I saw pictures where I realized he was older than 14.
You realize you broke the law just by having the conversation and traveling, heading over this way, right?
No, I didn't realize that.
Okay.
Like, I didn't realize that was a law.
So what would you do differently, Michael? Knowing what you know right now.
I would, if somebody told me that they were actually 14, then I would just believe them and like block them completely.
But you headed this way with condoms, lubricant, knowing that he told
Only
you
because he was trying to convince me to come over, but I didn't want to come over.
I'm super nervous. I'm not going to lie, you say.
Yes, because I told him that I had anxiety, and you can also read the parts where I told him that, hey, he shouldn't be on apps, and hey, this is probably
That's true.
illegal, even me talking to you.
Yeah.
And then he was like still pressuring me to talk to him and like pressuring me to hang out.
You're in a bit of a jam right now.
Yeah. And if I would have had my own car, I wouldn't even driven halfway over here before turning around.
But you had to tell the Uber driver where you were going.
Yeah, before you get the Uber, you have to tell them where you're going.
Right, I understand how Uber works.
Mm-hmm.
So you left the hotel and you went to the 7-Eleven. That's not far from here.
Mm-hmm.
You got a Red Bull.
Mm-hmm.
You just drank it in the parking lot.
Yes.
You threw out the can.
Mm-hmm.
Then you walked over to this neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Was it a long walk?
Not that long.
And during that walk, what were you thinking about?
I was thinking I should just get another Uber.
And why didn't you?
I don't know. Because it's like, I was like, well, I'm over here now. Why don't I just go on a walk?
Go on a walk. You couldn't go back to the hotel and walk around the hotel.
I mean, I could have. I should have.
You should have. That's
I
right.
didn't realize that it was an issue for me to be walking around the neighborhood.
Well,
I understand if I would have came up to this house and walked in the front door, totally would have understood that would have been wrong.
what do you think should happen to you?
I don't think anything should happen to me. I made the right choice. I didn't go walk into the house. I didn't actually meet up with him. I blocked him after he called me and tried to like convince me like one last straw to like stay to come over and stuff. And I was just like not having it, so I blocked him.
Why did you delete the messages from your phone?
Because I didn't want anything to do with them.
It seems more like you were deleting them in case you got caught.
No.
You suspected.
I wasn't expecting I was going to get caught. Why would I get caught for doing something like not going into
Michael,
a place?
you had
I know, but I didn't come in
sexually
here.
charged conversation with somebody who told you.
So then every single person that you guys have conversations with, do you like go and find them and then arrest them?
Well, if they come to the Sting House,
But I didn't come to a Sting House.
you were coming this way.
But that doesn't matter. I mean, people on the highway are always
How do we
coming
know
this
that
way.
you weren't going to continue this conversation and try to show up tomorrow?
Because I had deleted them and I blocked them.
You deleted and blocked him.
Yes.
Did you delete and block the initial conversation you had with him 24 hours ago?
No.
Then you got back on and talked to him again.
No, I'm saying I mean, what is your question?
What I'm saying is, did you delete previous conversations with him as well?
Yes. So that would have been part of deleting the whole thing.
Got it. Okay. So you initially had a conversation, then you deleted it, then you decided you were horny, so you got back on and talked to him.
No, I didn't delete it initially. I'm saying when the person called me and I was just not feeling it at all anymore, and I didn't want to meet up with him at all. I didn't want to really associate with him anymore. And then I deleted him.
Okay.
Because after I delete somebody, then it's like I can't even get a hold of them even if I wanted to. Or even if they're trying to pressure me. You know what I mean?
Michael, what do you do for a living?
I'd rather not tell you.
Well, I already know.
Okay, well, I don't like this whole game show thing.
All right. Well,
What's the point of doing this?
the point of this is
I didn't walk into this house.
Okay.
I wasn't trying to actually meet up with him. He convinced me to get into an Uber. He tried twice to get me into an Uber. The first time I said I canceled the Uber. I didn't want to come over. He convinced me again to get an Uber. And I still felt bad about it and didn't want to come over here. And then I got over here, and then I was planning to get an Uber back home. I got the Uber back home before I even started walking around the neighborhood block. There was already an Uber that was coming to pick me up. I was not planning on coming into this place.
Okay.
I didn't even walk down the street.
So it's
I didn't even tell him that I was actually even in his neighborhood already. I told him that I was still on my way because I didn't want him to even try to think that I was in his neighborhood or to come out and get me to come inside because it's I didn't want to meet up with him.
So it's the fault of someone who told you they were a 14-year-old boy. It's their fault. Is that what you're saying?
No. What's their fault?
Okay, so whose fault is it?
I don't even know what the issue is. So what's
The issue is that you had a sexually charged conversation with someone who told you they were 14.
Only after it was not. I had no sexual conversation with him until he
did.
showed me the pictures.
It doesn't matter. He told you it was 14. This is what the law says here in the state of Florida, that if you have that conversation, it's already breaking the law. If you get into some sort of a transportation vehicle and head this way, that's breaking the law.
I didn't know that was law.
All right, well, you already crossed the line.
Okay, I wasn't going to cross any lines.
So, Michael, there's something you need to know, and that is I'm Chris Hansen, and we do stories on adults who try to meet up with children for sex. And this is one of those stories. So if there's anything else you want people to know, now
Is that why you guys were trying so hard to convince me to come over?
I wasn't trying.
He's like, what if I wouldn't have came over? Then it's like, oh no, you don't have your story, right?
That's not how it works.
I mean, it's kind of how it worked.
No, it's not how it works.
I mean, why? Yeah, it is kind of how it worked because I'm sorry I didn't walk up to the door and give you your a surprise moment type thing. But
All right.
I thought I had a better conscience, and then I realized that it's not something that I want to do, and I'm not into that. So it's got the Uber to head back home. If I would have had my car down here, I probably wouldn't have even gotten near this neighborhood. But the Uber dropped me off at the 7-Eleven. And the whole time I was thinking, I don't want to. This is not a good idea. I don't want to go.
Why don't you just stay at the hotel?
Exactly, because
I mean, if you had stayed at the hotel, or not even engaged, how about not engaging in a conversation with somebody who says they're 14? You would have avoided the whole thing. You wouldn't have had to make that fake call to your boss. You wouldn't be sitting at the kitchen counter talking to me. If you don't chat with somebody who's a child online, then you don't get into this position. It's that simple. Don't chat about sex with a 14-year-old kid.
I know.
And then you don't get into this problem.
I didn't think that he was a kid at the
Okay, well, he told you that, Michael. We can go round and round forever, but that's the reality of the situation.
Anyone can say that, though, but then if they look like they're 20...
Then why talk to him?
Because he looked like he was in college.
How old are you?
I'm 34.
You're 34. And you were talking to a 14-year-old kid or somebody who told you they were 14.
Who looked like they were maybe 20, 18, 19.
Doesn't matter. They told you 14. Why would you keep talking to them? Why would you bring up sex? Why would you talk about being gentle and
He's the one that brought up sex. I mean, I didn't bring that up at all.
Okay, then walk away from it, Michael. You didn't. That's the problem. Do you see it?
I see it, yes.
Okay. Then don't tell me that this is our fault, and don't tell me it's a 14-year-old kid's fault.
I didn't say it was your fault.
Yeah, you did. You said, oh, you got to make your TV show and do that.
I mean, yeah, that's clearly
okay,
what
so
you're
don't
doing.
talk to kids online about sex and you don't get into the problem, okay?
Okay.
All right. So don't try to jam it in my face.
I'm not trying to jam anything.
Okay. Is there anything else you want people to know?
No, that I'm not a bad person, and I did not
appreciate
come
that.
over to this house. They picked me up in an Uber that was leaving this area. I wasn't actually trying to come over to this house.
So what you're saying is you had improper thoughts and actions, but you tried to correct it.
Yeah, I realized that it's not something that I wanted to do.
Okay. And you didn't realize that what you had done was breaking the law.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else?
Because in Minnesota, there's not a rule like that, like traveling. Like, what the hell?
Okay.
Doesn't make any sense.
I think there might be, but
I mean,
we'll leave it at that.
I don't know. It's like, it just seems weird because it's like, usually it's like you have to like actually like, meet the person.
Right.
Or like you have to be like caught.
Well, you met the person online, Michael.
I know, but it's like I met somebody online. It's like I didn't meet.
Okay, but again, here's the message. Here's the takeaway. If you don't talk about sex with somebody who says they're a kid, you don't get into trouble. That's the rule.
Yeah.
I hope you learned that tonight, okay?
I did learn it.
Okay, good. These people will take it from here, okay?
All right, I'm not trying to have sex with any kids.
All right.
Let's do that.
The cameras are too nice. Really.
It's going to be a minute before we sort this out, obviously. First he said he was Sam Case. Then he said his name was Michael. He said he wasn't going to show up. But you never really know what's in somebody's mind. And the fact is, he talked about having sex with someone who told him they were 14, and that's against the law. Then he got into an Uber, came to this neighborhood. The rest of it, well, that'll be sorted out in the courts.
After blaming everyone but himself, not only does Michael lie about his name and his age, but he also lies about his past offenses. Offenses that happened just a couple of months ago. We learn that Michael is out on bond after allegedly committing a very similar crime. He was arrested by the Bloomington, Minnesota Police Department for engaging in electronic communication relating or describing sexual conduct with a child and solicitation of a child to commit a sexual offense. And now, here in Polk County, Michael is charged with 4 felonies and 2 misdemeanors. Lewd and lascivious conduct, misrepresentation of age after using a computer to solicit a minor, traveling to meet after using a computer, unlawful use of a two-way communication device, providing false information to law enforcement during an investigation, and resisting officers. We'll keep you posted on the cases against him. Sadly, after supervising so many of these investigations, nothing shocks Lieutenant Bobby Kirkpatrick.
Another man came to this area after having a conversation with someone he thought was a 14-year-old boy. Now, he was very hinky,
Right.
but he had broken the law.
Absolutely.
So your men took him down.
Absolutely.
And what was his criminal status?
We knew early on during his conversations and then with his activity once he arrived close, he was overly suspicious. And of course, we take into context that happens because these individuals often start to, their conscience gets the best of them, right? And they start to think through the consequences of what's going to happen. We are familiar with people who will, again, take some precautions and are hesitant. But in this case, we knew there was something a little more to it. He failed to provide even simple things such as his name, his date of birth, his address. He was very reluctant to provide that. Not only was he reluctant, but in fact, he was hesitant and outright lied to us at times as to what his identity was. We knew that there was a reason why that was happening. Come to find out, and typically when that happens, it's either because they hold some type of social prominent status, they hold some type of employment or profession of which they are going to be shamed for the actions of what they're doing, and or they have some kind of a criminal history and similar thing. In this case, that's exactly what it was. We find out that he's already been arrested in Minnesota. He's out on bond for the same type of offense.
Similar offense.
Exactly the same.
So he gets arrested in his hometown in Minnesota. He's here on business as some sort of a convention audio-visual tech.
Right.
And he gets caught again trying to solicit an underage boy for sex.
Back locked up again. And of course, as we know, we see this time and time again. If it weren't us who were here doing these sting operations, he would have violated a minor child. He would have absolutely had sex with a child.
What does it say about a guy who gets busted, is out on bail, learns nothing from this and thinks he's safe because he's in this area of Florida and can do this again?
Unfortunately, the system failed in that process, because the system is designed to protect those who can't help themselves. It should protect society from demons like this who prey upon children, and yet here he was in another state, had clearly unmonitored access through cell phone, through other electronic means, computer applications, to go target other children. So of course we caught him here in our sting, but how many other potential children has he met or has he violated in the time since his first arrest until we've locked him up again?
And he's mad at you. He's mad at me. You're not letting me go to work tomorrow morning. I've got a job to do.
Right, because of the poor choices that he made. We're the ones responsible.
He tried to argue that he made the right choice, that he thought about this because he was horny, he said, but then made the right decision and was going to jump in an Uber and leave. Do you buy that?
We know the right decision would have been to X out the conversation when he was seeking companionship and found out that it was a minor boy. As soon as he found out that it was an underage person, that should have been the end of the conversation and move on and find an adult. Because certainly we know there are enough adults out there that he could find to enjoy companionship with. But clearly in a case like this, he is targeting or seeks out and only desires minor children.
Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd knows that men like Michael, who are repeat offenders, have no place in society with access to children. 34-year-old Michael gets online, starts chatting with one of your decoys posing as a 14-year-old boy, comes right out with it, says he is, quote, horny AF, unquote. And the conversation goes from there. He's back and forth, he's cagey, he takes an Uber from his hotel to the area, and your team arrests him before he gets to the house because he's clearly at this point broken the law. And it turns out he's already been in trouble for doing the same thing in a different state, Sheriff.
He's out on bond for the same thing in Minnesota. That's right, an $85,000 bond he posted. Then he came to Florida, went online, and was looking up another child, a little boy, to have sex with. And we arrested him. The judge ordered him to have an ankle monitor, ordered him not to leave the state, but let him back out. So 2 courts have allowed him to have bond. Are we waiting as a system? Are we waiting for him to sexually batter a child before we find out that he's dangerous and a menace to society? He's had 2 opportunities to have sex with children. Fortunately, undercover operations stopped him on both occasions.
What does it say about this guy that he was busted in a sting in Minnesota trying to have sex with a child, a boy, and he goes to Florida on business for a big conference and gets busted here?
Tells you he's not only a sexual deviant, he's not only perverted in his conduct, but he's aggressive. And that's why he's dangerous. He is going to have sex with children if he's not locked up.
If getting arrested in Minnesota wasn't deterrent to trying it again in Florida, what's it going to take to keep this guy from harming a child?
If he's not locked up in custody, he's going to have sex with the child if the opportunity presents itself. That's a guarantee. He just is. I can tell you right now, lions don't change their roar. This guy is a predator. He is after children, and he will have sex with little boys or young boys given the opportunity. If he's not locked up, he's going to be stalking your children.
He told me in our interview that he did the right thing, that yes, he was horny, he was going to come over, he was thinking about having sex with this boy, but then he had a change of heart. And in fact, he was going to call another Uber from the area where the sting house was and go back to his hotel. You buy any of that?
No, not at all. Why would we believe him? He'd already been lying to us. We caught him is the reason that he changed his behavior. And that's what I found. People in jail change their behavior while they're in jail. But as soon as they're released, they seem, at least he seems, free to go back and try to attack children again. So at the end of the day, it's, do we want people like this attacking our children or not? If you don't, you put them in prison. And my interaction with people in the community, they want these child pedophiles, these sex predators, locked up and away from kids. And that's where they should be.
WatchTrueBlue.com is home to the full library of Takedown with Chris Hansen, true crime documentaries, and exclusive investigations.